We got 7 o'clock now.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to open.
Motion open.
Second,
All those in favor, roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
no video, Alicia.
Been here with you.
Jeff Walker,
yes.
and Alicia's muted.
I just-
Yes, thank you, Martha.
Welcome.
All right, communications from citizens. Do we have any raised hands?
I do not see any, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Chairman's report. I signed the PR 21-11 for Julie O'Brien. Under grants, gifts, and donations, we have none tonight. We have no public hearings. Under new business, we have a Council on Aging Board appointment, William DeMayo.
Motion to appoint Bill, please. William DeMayo.
I'll
Second,
second.
Discussion?
thank you for volunteering your time, Bill, with the
Hey.
Council on Aging.
I agree.
Yeah, and thank you, Bill. You've been stepping up to fill a lot of positions in town. It's greatly appreciated.
He's muted. He might want to say something.
Okay. Would you like to say anything, Bill?
Yeah, thanks very much for the opportunity. It's, I've lived in town for 40+ years, and I'm glad to make a contribution back to the town. They've done a lot for my family and my 4 kids.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill, thank you. Are you going to give up that spot or where you caught that fish?
Yeah, that was in Colorado, Jeff. Cheeseman Canyon, catch and release.
Wow, great fish.
That's cool.
Happy, good face too, happy.
Rainbow trout?
Rainbow trout, Geraldine.
I know my fish.
Well, you can tell that tail swoops in a little bit. I'd like to have a brookie that big, Bill.
I understand.
All right, we'll move to a roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Thank you, Bill. Have a good night. All right, and now we have a pile of business licenses and liquor license renewals. So this will take a little bit of patience when we get to the liquor licenses.
So JR, Jerry's going to say something too, but JR, have you got your pronouncing skills at your highest level tonight?
I have a bottle of water and I'm gonna give it my best.
A point of order. Aren't we supposed to vote to allow you to sign Mr. DeMayo's appointment?
Yes, we can. I was gonna move to that at the end, but we can do that now. Is that a motion?
Yes, I so move.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, roll call vote. Jeff Walker.
And we're going to do it again at the end because you're going to sign everything else.
Right, but it doesn't hurt to hit the bases as we
Okay.
go. It's a good
sounds
idea.
to me. Yep. Yes.
Okay, Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Okay, we have a 2020 business license renewal as follows. Donald B. Walton, Walton's Auto Lab, 78 Hanover Street, Auto and Marine.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? I'll move to a roll call vote. Mike Doyle?
Oh, Jerry has a hand up.
Jerry, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, just for the sake of brevity, I'm curious, were there any input from the residents of the town regarding any of these? There's a number of them, but is there any input that we know of that anybody wrote in or commented or had a negative indication that these licenses should not be issued?
I don't believe we received any feedback. Have we, Julie?
No, we haven't received any feedback like that, no one wants to accept them or any issues like that now.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to check. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so we're Donald B. Walton, Walton's Auto Lab, 78 Hanover Street, Auto and Marine. I'll move to a roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. And we have some 2021 business license renewals. Nasser Abu Eid, AL Prime Energy Consultant Incorporated, 17 Central Street, Auto and Marine, gasoline, car repair, and sale of related goods. Do we want to take the business licenses? And if anyone says hold, we'll come back to a particular one. That's how we've done it in the past.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll get more complicated as we get into the liquor licenses. But we could take these this way. All right, so if anyone has a hold, just say hold as we go along. Nasser Abu Eid, AL Prime Energy Consultant Incorporated, 17 Central Street, Auto and Marine, gasoline, car repair, and sale of related goods. Angie Service Incorporated, 101 Newburyport Turnpike, used car dealers license Class 2. Gary Macheros, Angie Service Incorporated, 101 Newburyport Turnpike, Unit 4 and 5, auto repair. Gary Macheros, Applied Automotive Technology Incorporated, 101 Newburyport Turnpike, Unit 4 and 5, auto and marine. Edwin Carrier and Michael Tartaglione, Auto Works of Hampton Falls Incorporated, 88 Newburyport Turnpike, used car dealers license Class 2. Richard Selmanson, Bridge Road Signs, 9 Graham Ave, general business. Neil Dietz, Edward Lynch Jr., Dietz and Lynch Capital, 28 Green Street, general business. Christine and Doug Rupp, Harmony Natural Learning Center, 6769 Newburyport Turnpike, general business and education. Henry C. Becker, Henry C. Becker Custom Building Limited, 8 Riverview Drive, general business. Jeremy P. Cohane, Jaden Auto Incorporated, 6 Newburyport Turnpike, used car dealers license Class 2. Josette Walker, Josette's Ads and Loom, 173 High Road, general business. Jeffrey C. Woodburn, Little River Realty Trust, 17 Newburyport Turnpike, general business, fuel storage and delivery. Cheryl Moulton, Danvers Butchery, Newbury Butchery, 2 Morgan Ave, common victualler. James Noyce, Noyce Auto Service, 1 Noyce Lane, auto and marine, auto repair. William and Louise Robitaille, Pheasant Meadow Farm, 7 Paul's Way, farm products. Greg Pugh, Plum Island Beach Coma Restaurant Incorporated, 23 Plum Island Boulevard, common victualler. David and John Moulton, Riverfront Marine Sports Incorporated, 292 High Road, auto and marine, sales, storage, marine supplies, gasoline, and storage of boats. Steve and Andrea Tola, Steve Service Incorporated, 52 Main Street, used car dealers license Class 2. Steve and Andrea Tola, Steve Service Incorporated, 52 Main Street, auto and marine, auto repair, and sales of related items. Linda Shane, the Access Clinic for Wellness, 19 Central Street, Suite C, acupuncture. Donald B. Walton, Walton's Auto Lab, 78 Hanover Street, auto and marine. Jody Wilkinson, Wilco Marine Restorations, 84 Newburyport Turnpike, auto and marine. Did anyone notice any I missed?
Nope.
No.
Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve as
I'll
read.
As read, I second that.
Okay, any discussion? I'll move to a roll call vote. Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Recusing myself on my own, yes for all the rest,
and,
on my wife's.
okay, Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. I would entertain a motion to allow the chair to sign.
Motion made to allow the chair to sign the licenses.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. All right. Now we have a request for a change of Sunday business hours for beverages to be drunk on premises for the Plum Island Grill. Incorporated DBA Plum Island Grill. This would change their Sunday business hours to 10 a.m., opening at 10 a.m. instead of opening at 12 p.m. I'd entertain a motion.
I move to accept the request for the change of Sunday business hours for beverages to be drunk on premises at the Plum Island Grill.
I'll approve. I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? I'll move to a roll call vote. Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
Yes,
and J.R. Colby, yes.
I also move that we vote to allow the chair to sign on behalf of the board.
second,
Roll call vote. Alicia Greco,
Yes,
Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jeff Walker,
yes,
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Okay, now we will get into our liquor licenses.
Chairman Colby,
Yes,
did you want to explain to the newer members of the board about the parameters of how we have to do these
yes,
separately?
I've asked-
And blah, blah, blah.
I've asked Alicia to assist in the motions to make this a smooth process tonight, because in the past, we've taken them as a list, but council recommended these updates, you know, just in the way that we approve these licenses, so it's a little more formal and thorough.
So I'll read the motion. I'll just need somebody to make a second.
And
All right, so we will start off with license
Hold
number.
on. Jerry Heavy has a question.
Jerry,
again, any input from any of the residents on these liquor licenses?
I have not received any responses, from any of the residents in negative form, just the people coming to hand in their paperwork.
Okay, thank you.
Once we make the motion and we have a second, I do have some discussion on some of these liquor licenses, but I'll wait till we get there.
okay. We'll start with Corner Cupboard, license number 89184-PK-0794, Adele Scrivo, DBA Corner Cupboard, 4 Hanover Street.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Adele Scrivo, DBA Corner Cupboard. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management, premises, or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC, and receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
I'll move to a roll call vote.
No, we need a second.
I'll second that,
Yep, second. I
Any
know
dis-
what you said. Yep,
Any discussion? I'll move to a roll call vote. Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
yes,
and J.R. Colby, yes. All right, next we have Sylvanowitz Family Associates Incorporated, DBA D&J Liquors, 53 Main Street, Byfield, license number 00007-PK-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Savannahwitz Family Associates Incorporated, DBA D&J Liquors. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management, premises, or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
second as to what Alicia said.
Okay, any discussion? I'll move to a roll call vote. Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Next, we have Plum Island Fine Wine and Spirits Incorporated, DBA The Cottage Wine and Spirits, 14 Plum Island Boulevard, license number 00010-PK-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Plum Island Fine Wine and Spirits Incorporated, DBA The Cottage Wine and Spirits. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. And 2, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second as to what Alicia said.
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Now we'll move on to off-premise licenses, wine and malt. We have Pizza Factory Incorporated, DBA Plum Island Provisions, 29 Plum Island Boulevard, license number 00009-PK-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Pizza Factory Incorporated, DBA Plum Island Provisions. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second as to what Alicia said.
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Next, we have the Butchery Incorporated, DBA Newbury Butchery, 2 Morgan Ave, license number 00018-PK-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for the Butchery Incorporated, DBA Newbury Butchery. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second as to what Alicia said.
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Next up, we have Brahm C1 LLC, DBA Brahm C1 LLC, 6 Fruit Street, Unit D, license number 88921-PK-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Brahm C1 LLC, DBA Brahm C1 LLC. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second as to what Alicia said.
Discussion? I'll move to a roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Now we will move to licenses authorizing the sale of beverages to be drunk on premises, wine and malt. Bob Lobster, 49 Plum Island Turnpike, license number 04762-RS-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Bob Lobster. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, issuance of a certificate of inspection. 3, receipt of the liquor liability insurance certificate. And 4, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second as to what Alicia said.
Discussion?
I have something, a thought that I want to throw out to the board, and I'd like to get your feedback on this. Currently, during this pandemic, restaurants and clubs, I think there's 6 of them here that we're going to approve tonight, are really have had their businesses take a hard hit with the pandemic, with closed, reduction in people that come there, reductions in and hours, closures, and it's been tough for them. And I'm thinking that I wanted to get the board's thought on if we would this year consider waiving their liquor license fee. It's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but in lean times, right now, it's one less bill that the restaurant will have to pay. I think it might help a little bit. And I just wanted the board's feedback on that, what your thoughts were.
Jerry?
How much, is that the $70 fee or the $125? And if they're also licensed as a common victualler, do you want forgiveness for the common victualler's license?
I hadn't thought about the common vic license. I don't think that is a significant impact, but I mean, I'm open to anything. I'm open to helping these folks that are struggling. I wish I could do more. I'd just like to encourage all of our restaurants to shop and dine locally. Help our neighbors in Newbury. It's been tough right now.
Yeah, the common victual is definitely haven't been as impacted as heavily as the restaurants. And I couldn't imagine being in the restaurant business right now and what they've been facing. I would have no
It's gonna get
objection.
worse.
Yeah,
It's gonna get worse. I mean, today's guidelines by the governor just made things that much harder for them.
and
Julie, can you tell us what the fee is for the liquor licenses for the restaurant?
Yeah, they range for between about $700 and $1,000 for the restaurants, from what I'm looking at the list that I have for the liquor license.
That's a $700 to $1,000 bill that the business won't have to pay this time of year.
and the restaurants really can't capitalize on having that liquor license right now, whereas package stores and common vic can.
Right.
I would second Alicia's motion.
So I
to
haven't really made a
waive-
motion. We're under
I
discussion.
thought, okay, so if,
I'd entertain a motion.
go ahead, Alicia.
Well, before we make a motion, does anybody else have any comment, Jeff or Jerry?
Do we have a fee that we have to pay to the state, or does that come directly to us? And maybe that's a question for Tracy.
I do not believe we have a fee, but that's a question for Julie.
Sorry, Julie.
No, there's, the payment that we would submit would be what the restaurant owner or the business owner, that's what we submit to the ABCC.
Great, thank you.
So that brings me to another question. If we don't collect it, does the ABCC still want a remittance from us?
That was my question.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, yes, there would still be the fee for the license, so yes. They would be expecting that.
The plot thickens.
That was my fear.
Yeah, I guess, are we still on discussion?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want the citizens to have to pay for this. It's a great motion, but someone's got to pay for it, unfortunately, so that's, I guess, my feeling.
Yeah, if it has to come out of the taxpayer, that's different. If we can waive a fee is one thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that fee is all going to the state, then that's a lot of money. So, and that was my reason for asking the question. I had a feeling that it probably entitled some licensing fees up and down through the state beverage commission. But does it, Julie, do we know, does that, and that's probably not a easy question, but if it's a $700 license, does that all go to the state and none goes to the town?
I'd have to look into that. I'm not exactly sure the breakdown of how that fee works. I'd have to do a little investigating.
I mean, if, Alicia, you might be able to take a vote that whatever cost of the restaurant to pay the fee to the state, and if there was extra left over, that the town could forgo that part of it. But it's getting a little complicated.
Yeah. All right, what do you think?
Well, if it's something that we have to remit to the state, I'm not ready to make that motion. If it was a way we could help, I'd be okay with it, but somebody else
Is it
wants.
something we can, is
Creative
it,
way.
is this something we can possibly revisit in a couple weeks after we talk to council and so forth? But it's like, I think it's important we give them the license tonight.
Agreed.
Because if there's something that happens between now and the next meeting, we'll have a next meeting, then I think we have to give them the license tonight, but maybe we can revisit it just before the end of the year at the last meeting, just to see if we can do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my opinion. That's my feeling tonight.
Yeah, that's a good way forward for now, I think.
Either that, Michael, or that you could formulate a motion that the town's part of the fee could be remitted or could not be collected, so that we only had to take and collect the part of the license that went to the state.
And that's a good thought too. That way, if there is something we can do, we will have done it.
Tracy, is that what you recommend?
Yep.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
The motion probably would be that we would ask for the license for the restaurants to be collected for whatever fee was to go to the state, and if there was any money that was going to the town, we would not ask for that. Boy, that's not a really good motion.
It sums it up.
How about?
We could
how about-
waive any town fees, if that's
Yeah.
easier.
We could waive it, collect the state fees and waive the town fees.
Question? One, I think we have to list which places we're talking about, because we've approved 6 and we're on, or 7 if you include Bob Lobster. So is it your intent to
So,
include 7
these-
or 6?
These are for on premise.
I'm probably drinking.
Okay.
So it would be Bob Lobster,
On,
Old Town Country Club, Rusty Can, Old Newbury Golf Club, Beach Coma, Plum Island Grill.
Yep,
Yeah,
the restaurants.
okay.
Okay, I will move to a roll call vote.
So what's the motion? Is the motion to
The
waive?
motion- Yes, to waive town fees for the,
Collect the
The,
state fees and waive the town fees.
Right,
right.
I wrote collect the state
Seven
fees and
restaurants.
waive the town fees for on-premise drinking establishments.
Good,
Okay,
Good.
that's good.
Does that sound good?
and I seconded it.
okay. Roll call vote, Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Okay, now we'll move forward with some more,
Now, well, Mr. Chairman, now we need to vote the Bob Lobster license. We
correct.
had discussion. Now we need a roll call vote to approve.
Okay, do you want to make the motion? Did you make the motion?
I already made it once, yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on Bob Lobster?
We did,
I'll second that if I didn't.
Roll call vote, Alicia Greco,
yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Okay, up next, Old Town Country Club Incorporated, Marsh Ave, license number 00002-CL-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Old Town Country Club Incorporated. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements to be received from the ABCC. 2, issuance of a certificate of inspection. 3, receipt of a liquor liability insurance certificate. And 4, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second is Alicia's reading.
Any discussion? All those in, roll call vote. Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes,
Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Okay, Rusty Can LLC, DBA Rusty Can, 9 Fruit Street. License number 03245-RS-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Rusty Can LLC, DBA Rusty Can. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, issuance of a certificate of inspection. 3, receipt of the liquor liability insurance certificate. And 4, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
second and Alicia's reading.
Any discussion?
I-
Jerry?
Yeah, just, why is it necessary? Did these businesses not comply? Because,
No, they did. This is a cleaner legal way to do it. Over the years, we've done a lot of basically legal bookkeeping, and this just makes things more official. It's at the recommendation of council.
okay, but I mean, these people have given the necessary affidavits of insurance and
Yes.
workers' comp.
Yes, I have all the paperwork.
Okay, all right, because I was wondering, looking at what was given to us, it appears that that's a necessary part, so I was wondering why we were doing it. Okay.
What we used to do is whoever was chair at the time would look over and say, is everything in order? And then the answer would be yes, and we would just vote it. But of course, with the new way of doing things, it is confusing.
All right, thank you. I'm sure the people watching would appreciate that explanation, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Next up, we have Old Newbury Golf Club Incorporated, DBA Old Newbury Golf Club, 319 Newburyport Turnpike, license number 00020-CL-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Old Newbury Golf Club Incorporated, DBA Old Newbury Golf Club. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, issuance of certificate of inspection. 3, receipt of the liquor liability insurance certificate. And 4, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second is Alicia read.
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Mike Doyle. Okay, we're getting the thumbs up. And J.R. Colby, yes.
thank you. Yes, thank you.
Next up, we have Plum Island Beachcomber Incorporated, DBA Plum Island Beachcomber, 23 Plum Island Boulevard, license number 00021-RS-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Plum Island Beachcomber Incorporated, DBA Plum Island Beachcomber. However, the license shall not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. Issuance of a certificate of inspection, receipt of the liquor liability insurance certificate, and 4, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
second is Alicia read.
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes,
and J.R. Colby, yes. Next up, we have Plum Island Grill Incorporated, DBA Plum Island Grill, 2 Plum Island Boulevard, Newbury, Mass. License number 00016-RS-0794.
I move to approve the 2021 retail license renewal for Plum Island Grill Incorporated, DBA Plum Island Grill. However, the license shall not be used and should not be issued until the following criteria have been met. 1, approval of any changes in the license management premises or other ABCC requirements be received from the ABCC. 2, issuance of a certificate of inspection, 3, receipt of the liquor liability insurance certificate, and 4, receipt of a workers' compensation insurance affidavit.
Second as to how Alicia read it.
Any discussion? I'll move to a roll call vote. Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Mike Doyle,
Yes,
J.R. Colby, yes. And now we will vote to sign the ABCC renewal certification for 2021.
second,
Move to a roll call vote. Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
yes,
Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
J.R. Colby, yes. Now a vote to sign the ABCC 2021 seasonal population increase estimate.
second,
Any discussion? Roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Jeff Walker,
yes,
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. And authorize I need authorization to sign the Plum Island Grill hour change.
motion made to let the chairman sign the hour change.
and I'll second Mike.
Roll call vote. Mike Doyle,
Yes,
Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
Do you need a motion to have you sign all those?
Yeah, I need a motion
liquor
to,
licenses?
next I need a motion to sign the ABCC renewal certification and the ABCC population estimation vote.
And all the liquor licenses also, right?
And the pile of liquor licenses sitting on the table here.
motion to
I
settle,
do offend.
motion to have JR sign the renewal certificate for 2021 and the seasonal population increase and all the liquor licenses.
Second.
Second that,
Roll call vote. Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jerry Heavy.
Yes.
Let's see, just give me 1 second. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything with that business licenses and liquor licenses. And we may have already done this, but just to cover my tail, did I get permission to sign the plain liquor licenses, the retail liquor licenses?
yes, you did.
Okay,
Yeah, I thought you did.
okay.
I think what you said just covered it because he's saying what the motion was to sign all the 2021 licenses, liquor licenses.
Okay, good. Thank you, Julie.
So that should cover it.
All right. Okay, we have emergency management director's update with our chief of police, John Lucy. Are you ready for us, John?
Sure am. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's been a pretty busy couple of weeks, as I'm sure you've seen in the news and with the update from the governor, where the state's reverting back to phase 3, step 1. There's been a lot of conversation with the COVID Unified Command team, and we've come up with some adjustments we need to make in the interest of public health safety for our residents. I'll give you a little bit of the data that we're dealing with. Right now, as of today, we have realized a 373% increase in positive cases since November 1st. So that kind of gives you an illustration as the direction we as a town are going in. We currently have 34 new cases within the 14-day look-back period, which is the metric that the Department of Public Health is using to gauge the category that a community would fall into. For that reason, we are in the red category. I don't expect that that's going to change with the numbers that I'm about to give you as well. From November 19th to December 3rd, there's been 796 tests administered in Newbury. And of those tests, 27 positive cases have been found, which is a 3.39% positive rate, which again is how they categorize us, for a red status. we're tracking our own as well. And right now, we have cases, positive cases that we get notified of before they do their weekly tally. So we know the number is going to go up, and we're tracking that every day. Because of these reasons, and again, in the interest of priority one being public health, there's been some decisions made from our team. And as of December 14th at 8 o'clock in the morning, Town Hall will be returning to a remote to work status, and the town administrator will be facilitating that remote to work arrangement with the employees, which I know that she's been taking care of. And also, I've directed the superintendent of schools, Brian Forget, to suspend all indoor organized sports activities at Triton Middle School and the high school, as well as Newbury Elementary School. That was a difficult decision, as you can imagine. There was a lot of thought, a lot of processing. The administrative team, the athletic directing team of Triton School District put together a comprehensive, very well thought out plan to try to mitigate as best as possible a safe environment for the participants of indoor sports. But especially being the basketball season, you don't get more contact other than wrestling maybe than that. And it's just, it just does not seem, in light of the statistics, in light of the direction the state's going in, it seems like an unnecessary risk to allow that. So my recommendation to him was to suspend that until further notice, until we can, see what's going on in the future. So that is, the update. We, as the COVID Unified Command team, will continue to closely monitor the situation and adjust to Newbury's response to this emergency, and solely in what we feel is in the best interest of public health for the town. That would be my report, Chairman Colby.
Okay, thank you, Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
All right, now we have the town administrator's report.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Jerry.
and may I ask the chief a question?
Yeah, we still have you, John?
Sure do.
Okay,
Yeah.
Chief, I know what, when you go into City Hall, everyone's great wearing masks, but what is the policy of the other town employees who aren't assigned or don't work physically at Town Hall? Are they wearing their masks, because they're outside, or are they not?
The mandate, the state mandate now, as it is right now, is any public places at all, you have to wear a mask unless you're exempt for medical reasons.
Okay. Okay, so all the police officers and the DPW fellows they'll be in masks when they're working?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Just one other question, not on COVID. I noticed this past week in the paper that there were the towns around us got state grants, but we didn't. Was there a reason that we didn't get any of the state money to for training or equipment?
I think what you're referring to is the burn grant. And that's what a lot of the area towns took advantage of. And there are so many different facets of that grant, so many different components of different styles of grants. What they were, what I believe they were granted was for equipment. And the biggest thing that they were pushing was body cameras, which I am a proponent of. But as it stands right now, we do not, the problem that we're facing is there's no standard set yet as far as the maintenance, the storage, what is public record, when it can be turned off, when they can be turned on. There's a lot of policies that are in the making right now. So I would have taken advantage of that if that was more defined, and if we had the facility to accommodate the infrastructure that that goes with that. My hope is next year we will, with the facility being built. But the other thing that was used for that grant was what they call the live scan, and I think they spoke to that a little bit in the newspaper article itself. We did something a little bit differently. We obtained one for free. We have the live scan through the efforts of Deputy Chief Fisher, myself. We were able to locate and obtain it's a beautiful machine that does exactly what the grant was appropriate for. So we didn't exactly get that grant, but we got the benefit of what that grant would have given us. And I hope in the future, when we can really, once our facility and all our other priorities are taken care of, we can start taking advantage much more of what's available to us.
Thank you, Chief. And that machine takes fingerprints like on the fly, right?
Yes, actually, I can explain that really quickly. It's actually it's a great machine. We used to have to take custodies that, we couldn't identify or they wouldn't identify themselves to other jurisdictions and use their machine. But what it is, it's all computerized. It's a system that's tied right into CJIS, which is the Criminal Justice Information Center. And it'll instantly scan somebody's palm print or fingerprint. And if they are in the system, it will give us an identifying, who it is like that, just very, very, almost immediately. And that's what a lot of these, the departments took advantage of. We did too, but just in a different direction.
Thank you very much, Chief.
You're welcome.
One
John?
question too, for the
Sure.
chief. The transfer station, is that under your purview or it's closed
gonna-
now?
We're going to get to that under our administrative. report.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was this now. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll cover it.
Just
All
before
right.
we leave, John, I would like to say that it really does show some of the new things that we'll be able to do with a new police station and an up-to-date facility. And I mean, it's just heads, some of our police officers over the years, it was really, certification, all those things were so hard. It's just gonna really head everyone further down the path in a lot quicker way to reach certification and have all the benefits that.
I have a very hard time hiding my excitement to show you folks what's next. It is just, I can't even imagine. So yeah, the appreciation that my guys have, that I have for all the efforts of everybody involved to make that happen, I can't even put into words. So just sit back and enjoy. Because
We'll soon see it. Yep. Thanks, John.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Chief Lucy.
Okay.
Administrators report.
Sure, thank you, Chairman Colby. Chief Lucy touched upon the remote to work plan. So we had a lot of discussions in light of the second surge. We're going to try and limit exposures as much as possible while continuing to serve the residents of Newbury in the most effective manner that we can. The flexible work policy will become effective on December 14th. I think you may have mentioned that. And the town staff will be scheduled office times as well as remote work times. So we're going to do a similar model as to what we did last March, so that one office will physically be in the building on each floor. One person will be in the library, one person will be in the Council on Aging, and we'll rotate the personnel in and out of the building. Inspectional services, conservation, and the Board of Health will continue their inspections following all the safety protocols. And the DPW employees will continue to report to work, but they'll be limiting the contact with the public and naturally continuing to adhere to the protocols relative to social distancing, mask wearing, etc. You mentioned the transfer station, Selectman Doyle. We were notified by Mellow Disposal that they have temporarily closed our station. It's a result of staffing issues brought on by COVID-19 precautionary quarantine measures. The Georgetown location does currently remain open, and Newbury residents, their permits will be recognized there and the pricing will be honored until the matter is resolved. And anybody looking for more information can go to their website, www.mellowdisposal.com.
And
I think we-
Tracy, I just want to interject quickly, and you might have been ready to add it. Everyone just check out Mellow's hours. They do differ a little bit from our own dump, so be prepared for that.
Yep. Yep, their hours of operations can be found on that website as well. And, understanding that this does create an inconvenience for some people, we're very appreciative that the residents are willing to adapt in the face of COVID. I think you're going to see more of these instances happening during the next couple of months. So we appreciate everyone's patience. The,
Tracy, is that the only facility that Mellow has? Is that the closest one?
I think that's the closest one, yes.
Right, so Newburyport isn't Mellows then? The
No,
Lane, okay.
no.
Jerry, did you have a question?
I do. Yes, Mr. Chair. So, are they, is Mello in breach of, the contract with us? It sounds like,
I don't know that we would consider it a breach of contract, given the circumstances. Our agreement with Mello has been very favorable to the town, given what it was costing us years ago before we entered into the agreement with them. This is not something that they could have certainly helped. I think we have to be a little flexible in light of the pandemic.
and, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a staffing issue, so that's not to say that at the, Newbury facility, they have active positive COVID cases. Is that correct?
I am not aware of that information. What was reported to me was that it is a staffing issue because they had resulted directly of the Thanksgiving holiday, was what he mentioned specifically, due to COVID-19 precautionary quarantine measures. So I have not received any report of positive cases, but I don't know that I would be privy to that information.
Okay. And I just want to say that our website left a little to the, it didn't really provide any information. It just said it's closed. It gave no reason. And the website that I checked out on Mello didn't have any additional information about the about Newbury people. You know, did we have to go on the same days, or were they going to cost the same? Until finally today at the what is it, the town emails, they sent that information out, and that's you know, since Saturday. So I would have certainly liked to have seen that information on the town website, and I would have appreciated to myself get notice, since I never received any email from the administration notifying me of this.
There have been 3 notifications posted on the website, as well as email blast that goes out from our news and information. I don't know if you're signed up for that. I would definitely recommend that. You get all the information very quickly. We also did a code red call. And as soon as I was made aware of it, it was reported to the chair, as is our normal protocol. So.
I never got a red call, and I'm just concerned about people who on Saturday went there thinking they could throw their trash, because there is a lot of people who don't have access to computers or, you know, do this. So it's the sake of the rest of the community. And also I would have appreciated an email notifying me. But
There was also signage posted at the transfer station, and the police department was down there for a good portion of the day as well.
good.
Yep.
Okay, does that complete the administrator's report for tonight?
Nope, I have a few other things, but Chief Lucy has his hand raised.
Okay, John?
Yeah, Ms. Evie, just as it relates to the code red that you weren't notified in that, I'm not sure if you've signed up for that, but just to be aware, jump on our website and there's a link to make sure that you're signed up to receive that. It doesn't automatically go out to everybody. We don't have the capability for that. You actually have to sign up for that. And if I can be any assistance to make that happen for you, after this meeting, we can hook up and get that sorted out for you.
Okay, yeah. This is the first I've even heard of a code red, so.
Yeah,
thank
okay.
you.
Just a quick update on the Council on Aging Space Needs Analysis. The COA Expansion Committee kicked off their work on December 1st with what I think was a very productive meeting with architect Jeff Shaw of Context. The new COA director, Cindy Currier, and the members of the expansion committee came extremely well prepared to the meeting, and Jeff got all the information that he needed, which was great. That will help him to expedite the turnaround of the work, the first draft that he's going to be working on, which I think he said we would expect in a few weeks, which probably would be after the holiday. We also hired Karen Spangler. She was chosen as our next program coordinator and will begin her employment with the COA on December 21st. So now we have a full complement of employees back at the COA. I wanted to give you also a brief update on the PEG discussions that we've had previously. We had an opportunity to meet with Superintendent Forget today regarding the implementation of some new educational programming that would allow interested students to work as paid interns for the town of Newbury. The students would train under the direction of the PEG production operations specialist and work in the community, both the Triton community and the Newbury community, videotaping, producing, and broadcasting their materials. And that was, we spent a lot of time brainstorming to try and find a workaround at how we could take advantage of some of the PEG funding that Newbury has to benefit the Triton students. So it's in the early stages of planning, but everyone was very excited about that.
Good.
Bravo.
Thank you. Grant funding, I didn't get the notification in time to get on the agenda, but we did. Our IT director, Susan Noyce, was successful in securing $15,993 from the Community Compact IT grant. And we're going to use that in conjunction with the PermitLink software that we have for our inspectional services department. We're going to expand it into the conservation and zoning departments as well. So that'll be happening in the near future. I will need a vote of the board to accept that grant.
I move that we accept the grant that was written by the IT director.
Second.
Any discussion? I just, thank you, Susan Noyce, for all your hard work.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'll move to a roll call vote. Alicia Greco,
yes.
Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Mike Doyle,
Yes.
Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes.
Okay. 19 Independence Way, the soil sampling that was done indicated the presence of basically, let's see what it's technically called, elevated concentrations of extractable and volatile petroleum hydrocarbons, as well as other organic compounds. So the removal of the impacted soil did begin in November, but post-evacuation sampling indicates that there are going to be additional removal efforts required. So I'm in the process of contracting with Ransom to continue the removal. So hopefully by the first of the year, we'll have that completely cleaned up and we will be able to schedule our closing. And the
Question, just on that property, I know it's in tax title, but what are the plans for it? Once we have it all cleaned up, what are we gonna do with it?
Well, it was actually taken into foreclosure and we held a public auction. And it was auctioned off for a sum of $420,000 was the successful bidder. But at the time when we went to look at the property, it became apparent that there was an oil issue with the above ground storage tank. There was a release. So we were required to clean up before we could set a closing date. So we're working on that now. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully it'll be completed in January so we can close. And finally, 14th Street Emergency Egress Project. The consultants are scheduled to present the town's proposal to the Concom on January 19th at this point. And they are considering alternative proposals that were presented by the neighbors at the last meeting. So they had to kind of go back and consider some redesign. So that should be on their agenda for the 19th.
Oh, Tracy, that's on the Concom agenda.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome.
All right, under correspondence, we received 4 emails in opposition to the Central Street Gas Station project. We received a letter from the Commonwealth of Mass Division of Marine Fisheries on the November 23rd and 24th about clam flat closures. A letter from Giusti Hingston and Company regarding the town audit. Letter from Comcast regarding price increases. We received a letter from Jim Moran and 2 of his neighbors about their support for a sidewalk on Elm Street between Triton and Governor Dummer. Anyone have any meeting updates?
There's a school committee meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I plan to dial into.
Okay, we have meeting minutes to approve. I'm recusing from the Golf Center draft meeting minutes. They are minutes from August 26, 2020.
Motion to accept the golf course minutes from 8/26/20.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote. Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Mike Doyle,
Yes,
Jerry Heavy,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
Yes,
and J.R. Colby. Sorry, I recused from that one. We have select board draft meeting minutes from November 24th, 2020.
motion to accept the select board draft meeting minutes from 11/24/20.
second it.
Roll call vote. Jerry Heavy,
yes,
Mike Doyle,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
yes,
Jeff Walker,
Yes,
and J.R. Colby, yes. We have warrants tonight. I would need approval to sign on the board's behalf.
motion to let JR sign the warrants on the board's behalf.
second,
Roll call vote. Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
yes,
Mike Doyle,
yes,
Jerry Heavy,
yes.
J.R. Colby, yes. And I would entertain a motion to close.
motion to adjourn.
second,
Roll call vote. Jeff Walker,
Yes,
Alicia Greco,
yes.
Mike Doyle,
yes.
and Jerry Heavy,
Yes.
and J.R. Colby, yes. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Julie.
Good night, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll
Good night.
echo
Good
that.
night.
Thank you. Thanks again.
All right.